So, today the admins released an update about the Enderman Slayer, which we've all been really looking forward to see another Slayer, but there came with a catch to it. Strength was nerfed. Now, if we look at the actual post, it doesn't seem like strength is going to be killed too badly, but if we look at what actually happened, we can see otherwise. For example's sake, let's look at some ghost damage. Keep in mind that I do have a Warden helmet, but I only have superior dragon armor. And this is an updated lobby. It's day 5. And this is my soul whip. This is pretty much maxed. And I also have a level 100 mithril golem, which gives me more damage. Now, I'm doing 120 to 130k damage. 115k even. That is a third of how much damage that I did before this update. Now let's take a look at crypt ghouls. I still have all this same stuff on, warden helmet and everything. This wouldn't really change. And let's see how much damage I do when I punch it. 194. Usually I can do about 2,000 to 2,200 damage. And if I put with my dicer, I'm doing 7,300 damage, which on stream, I was doing 44,000 damage with my pumpkin dicer without any damage pet before the update. Now let's look at my livid dagger. Usually I do about 300k damage. 86k, 86k, 86k. I do about 250 to 300k damage with my livid dagger to these. 85,000. What is that? This is ridiculous. So let's take a look at the code that it shows here. As you see, it says that the damage right here is 5 plus weapon damage plus strength divided by 5 multiplied by 1 plus strength divided by 100 multiplied by 1 plus crit damage divided by 100 times 1 plus additive multiplier divided by 100. Then you see what it goes down here. It does 5 plus weapon damage, but instead of having that plus strength divided by 5, it just completely gets rid of that. So it doesn't add to the base weapon damage at all, meaning that it doesn't do really anything for your damage outside of the actual weapon itself. But now if we really want to see how bad it is, we can take a look at the Enderman Slayer. The Void Gloom Seraph. The tier 1, 300,000 health, 1200 damage per second, and then the hit shield, which is at 100%, 2/3 of its health, and 1/3 of its health. It adds a 15 hit shield that won't be affected by actual damage on your weapon. Now let's start this and kill these. See, I'm only doing 100k damage. I'm still using my Warden helmet with superior dragon armor, and I'm doing about a 100k damage to these, and they only have 750,000 health. So that means that it takes forever just to kill these, and I'm not a very early game player in terms of gear. Of course, I'm not the best. I never will be the best. That's not how this works. I don't already do the most damage, but this damage here, you really need to stare at one mob for a lot longer than you would for any other Slayer, where you can just shoot your bow and do everything else. Again, if we look at that, that's already gotten rid of as well because aiming is gone and it's turned into dragon aiming or whatever. So, but I'm at 10 out of 11 kills for a tier 1 boss. And let's take a look at what this does. 15 hits. Wherever it went. And then I only got a hit on it because I did 100k damage. And another shield. So there's a total of 3 shields. And once that last shield is done, you kill the boss. If we look in here, you get 5 Enderman Slayer XP. But if you try killing a level 2, it goes from 300,000 health to 15 million. Now, I by no means will be able to kill this boss. This has way too much health. But if we just let this one spawn, it has the shield right away, and I'm already dead. It has a shield of 30 hits. It has 15 million health, meaning that at 10 million health, it'll have another shield, and at 5 million health, it'll have another shield. So, how do you expect me to be able to do that much damage in little to no time? Because of the amount of damage it does per second, there's no way that I will be able to kill it. Now, I understand fully that I am by no means a high tier player, but even looking in lobbies, I have seen high tier players struggling to kill even a tier 2 without the use of sword swapping with an emerald blade with over like 100 million coins in their purse. It's ridiculous. Now, I don't think this is an all bad update, really, because I get where the admins are coming from. A lot of the newer players and endgame players have a big difference in how much damage they can do, so strength really does a number on how much damage one can do when it comes to killing mobs. Also, back to what I was talking about with aiming, they turned it into Dragon Tracer. I said that wrong earlier, but all that does is focus on dragons instead of normal mobs, so that's already meh of a change. I get it how aiming was being used by a lot of people just to like kill everything in a radius, so like lower level players would just sort of get destroyed and they wouldn't be able to kill everything in the area around them. So that one, it sort of makes sense, but still, all of these changes make it so difficult just to do some simple things. Like the new Slayer, you saw how it took me like 7 hits, and I'm using a Livid Dagger with a Warden Helm, with superior Dragon Armor. It took me like 6 to 8 hits just to kill one of the mobs to start the actual Slayer. Like, how can those mobs have more health than the actual Slayer itself? Like, just look at Ghost, for example. I was doing 300 to 400k damage with a 300 million coin setup. Now for that same 300 million coin setup to only go down to 100 to 130k damage? That's ridiculous. Overall, I get where the admins are coming from. They are talking about just like making it easier for early game players and making it more balanced throughout the whole game. But even these hard things like ghost grinding, how are we supposed to do those now? Do you just want to make it so that ghosts don't give anything useful? Do you want to make it so that ghosts are pretty much unfarmable and are only available for the elites? Like, even a Warden Helmet and all of this extra stuff, like maxed out Soul Whip, maxed out Warden Helmet, putting me at only 100k damage? What's gonna happen to the people who have even more stuff, like full Necron armor? How much damage are they gonna do? Are they gonna barely be able to 4-tap a ghost? It's like a lot of these things are just being nerfed to make it hard. I guess that sort of is the point. It does make sense. But even the harder things becoming even more difficult, that's just annoying to deal with and difficult to process why it's actually happening. But anyway, that's just my quick little thoughts on the whole update. Honestly, I'm not too fond of it. It is very annoying that I do very, very, very little damage compared to what I used to, but I get where they're coming from, so I can't really just say no. I have to just deal with it, but it's safe to say that I'm going to be farming a lot more and focusing on that instead of combat at this point. Ghosts were already hard for me. Now they're even harder. What am I supposed to do now? It's like you're forcing me to get into dungeons just so I can get combat. But anyway, thanks for listening to my whole opinions on this matter. Share what you think about it in the comments. It's honestly just all over the place for me. I've had so many people already come to me and say that they're quitting because of this update. It's a rough time. I can't lie about that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Go experiment with this update, see what you make of it, and yeah. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.